His films include some of the best to hit the big screen in the last 4 decades. Martin Scorsese has become one of cinema's most influential directors, rising from New York streets to worldwide acclaim. But with the fame comes scrutiny. From how it all began, to that controversial movie scene, to finally winning an Oscar, we take a look back at the Fox 5 interviews with Scorsese and how the news covered the native New Yorker's remarkable journey and creative impact. Director Martin Scorsese has cemented his place as one of the most significant filmmakers of his generation, known for films that delve deep into complex characters and city life. Back in 1983, he spoke to Fox 5 on how his career began.
Martin Scorsese is one of this town's most prolific movie directors. His credits include Taxi Driver, The Last Waltz, even Liza Minnelli's Stage Act. Well, Scorsese's latest release is a movie called The King of Comedy. He talked with Nancy Glass about his career.
Hi, Eliza. Good seeing you. Gerald, good seeing you. Jerry, don't get up. Ah, boy, I'll tell you.
Rupert Pupkin, an aspiring comic whose relentless pursuit of fame, the illusion of immortality, leads him to kidnapping a popular talk show host just to get his attention. Pupkin, says Martin Scorsese, is a way of re-examining his own early ambitions, what he was like then and what he's like now.
I'm interested in the characters who are fighting for some sort of recognition or fighting. That's clear. They are fighting for recognition. And they are, when you look at it, they are on the outside.
In films like New York, New York, Raging Bull, and the explosive Taxi Driver, there are consistent themes of pain and fear. Critics have said that he specializes in neuroses, that his works are all about his own feelings, his own pain and fear.
Obviously, I'm dealing with parts of myself that and everybody has pain and fear, you know, and it's just how much I want to explore as opposed to how much you want to explore, you know, and I think that's what fascinates me.
I read that you had hit a lot of stone walls in the beginning of your career, and that you've said that luck doesn't have much to do with it, it's just this constant battering away at this monolith.
That's right.
That is the industry. It's
persistence. Persistence and being extremely tough, and being able to take the humiliations and being able to take the punishment and the beatings, like Jake LaMotta and Raging Bull.
Scorsese grew up in Little Italy. While other kids were out playing sports, he was at the movies.
Because I think I know what it is, because when I was a kid, you go to a theater, and it was like a dream. It was like going into a dream state. It's like you forget all the troubles and you watch this wonderful thing on screen. Even if it was bad, it was wonderful.
As a teenager, he staged movies on rooftops on the Lower East Side. Then, NYU Film School, just 10 blocks away from where he grew up. That's where he made his first movies. What's a Nice Girl Like You Doing in a Place Like This? And It's Not Just You, Murray. Both won awards.
In 1990, the movie Goodfellas was released, becoming one of Scorsese's most iconic films. But the story on how Scorsese became the director of the book-turned-film started in 1986.
There's no doubt that Wise Guy, the true story of life in a mafia family, is one of the biggest books of the year, earning mega bucks and soon to be, as they say, a major motion picture. Yeah, but who's going to direct it? Well, that was the buzz of author Nick Pileggi's birthday party the other night. Nick told NYLA that the director will be none other than Martin Scorsese, the man who immortalized Little Italy in Mean Streets.
Martin Scorsese called about a month ago and said, Nick Pileggi? I said, yes. It was about 11 o'clock at night. He said, my name is Martin Scorsese, and I said, yes. And he said, I've been waiting for this book for many years. And I said, I've been waiting for this phone call for many years.
Unfortunately, not all of Scorsese's films were fan favorites. The Last Temptation of Christ was one of Scorsese's personal projects, becoming one of the most controversial films he directed. So much so, a protest was held in the middle of Manhattan in 1988, condemning the film from being shown in movie theaters.
Well, the folks around here who have denounced The Last Temptation of Christ are finally getting a chance to see it. It opened in 9 cities around the country, and people are lining up to buy tickets or carry picket signs. There's a demo, in fact, right now at the Ziegfeld in our town, and Steve Powers is there. Steve?
That's right, John. Right here on West 54th Street between 6th and 7th Avenue, completely closed down. It is jammed with protesters who feel very passionately that this movie by Martin Scorsese, The Last Temptation of Christ, should not open, should not be shown, because they find it blasphemous because of a dream sex sequence. Now, on my right, you can see the thousands of people who have bussed in as far as North Carolina with their passions very deep, and as you can hear, extremely vocal. But on the other side, on my left, you can see these people who are waiting in line to see this movie. People who just want to see the controversial film. Most of the demonstrators were orderly, chanting their protest. But a few of the protesters went a bit overboard and police had to move in. Here's what happened.
I didn't do anything! Let me here, get this! This is the East Village all over again!
The organizers of the demonstration, a coalition of religious groups including Catholic, Protestant, Jews, and Muslims, claim the movie depicts a dream sex sequence with Jesus, and it's blasphemous.
It's against the youth. It's against the Christianity. It's against the free religious.
Some do not agree.
I'm struggling with the same sexual feelings he had. The problem of celibacy, the problem of priesthood. You people are struggling with marriage. The homosexuals are struggling. We're all struggling. That is a story of Christ of 1988.
And despite the varied opinions, the lines grow here in Midtown Manhattan.
I'll tell you, from this point of view, there is a line that goes all the way down 54th Street, around 6th Avenue, and then down 55th Street, all leading into the Ziegfeld Theater. Thousands of people waiting to see this film. Perhaps some of them never would have been here unless there was this controversy between the people who find the film to be blasphemous and those who want to see for themselves. Steve Powers, Fox News, Channel 5, back to the studio.
In 1991, Martin Scorsese directed his first thriller in Cape Fear. And to no surprise, it became a huge hit.
Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte, and Jessica Lange are all starring in director Martin Scorsese's first thriller. It's called Cape Fear, a remake of the 1962 film. Robin Carter joins us now with her review.
Well, from its very first opening frames, Cape Fear lets you know this is a movie in which menace and terror are just a close-up away. Robert De Niro is simply brilliant as the man who puts the fear into Cape Fear. Ex-con Max Cady, the tattooed, religious, ranting rapist who's been waiting, plotting more than a decade to exact revenge against his lawyer, played by Nick Nolte. And Max Cady is certainly De Niro's creepiest psycho yet.
Do you understand that? We're not colleagues.
You don't think you're better than me?
No, I don't think I'm better than you. That's not the goddamn point.
Good, because if you're not better than me, then I can have what you have.
What do I have?
A wife, a daughter. I'm going to teach you the meaning of commitment.
From the minute we first set eyes on him, we know Robert De Niro's Max Cady is the portrait of pure evil. And it's De Niro's cool and calculated take on this monster that makes him even more terrorizing. First, he silently stalks lawyer Nick Nolte and family, then tortures them with psychological warfare, which escalates into a chilling seduction of Nolte's 15-year-old daughter, played magnificently by newcomer Juliette Lewis.
You thought about me last night, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Do you mind if I put my arm around you?
This is clearly a villain who mixes his sadism with diabolical charm. When De Niro brutalizes one of Nolte's associates, it's his seduction of her beforehand that's as frightening as the attack itself. But what originally was a clear-cut story of good versus evil becomes much more complicated in Martin Scorsese's hands, who in this remake has made the family that Max Cady stalks morally flawed as well. As Cady pushes their buttons, this dysfunctional family begins to unravel.
I didn't let him out! I didn't let him out!
Evening, ladies.
Well, Scorsese has managed to lace even a thriller with questions of guilt and redemption, leaving you wondering who the real sinner is. Nick Nolte and Jessica Lange give effective performances in the last 20 minutes or so of this film. A heart-pounding, in-your-face, over-the-top climax is worth the price of admission alone. And, of course, Robert De Niro, I think, perhaps for the first time, has a Southern accent in this movie. I liked it. That's obvious.
All right, thanks, Robert.
25 years after the premiere of Taxi Driver, Scorsese discusses the one thing missing in his resume, an Oscar.
And Martin Scorsese's thriller Cape Fear holds the #2 spot in the box office sales in the country. And the director tells Robin Carter he's ready for a blockbuster hit.
talking to me?
His films include some of the best of our time: Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and last year's Goodfellas.
It's gonna be a good summer.
And while director Martin Scorsese, once maligned by the movie industry, has recently become the darling of the critics, he is yet to have a mega box office hit. But Cape Fear, which has made more than $20 million in just 2 weeks, could change that.
There are all these movies out there that are making like $200 million at the box office.
Yes.
Do you ever say, I want this to happen to me?
Oh, yeah, listen, I mean, well, come on, I mean, a human being. I would like to make, all my pictures should make $300 million, and I should win every award. But it's not going to be the case. What do I do, stop making movies? I can't.
I mean, could you make a movie like T2?
Oh, I'd love to, but I don't think I'm suited for that. I think my Terminator would be very upset. He'd be very neurotic, probably. He wouldn't know what to do. He'd get there, he wouldn't know, I don't know. He'd be depressed. And then there goes all the action.
But even though Scorsese may never make a movie like Terminator 2, it's been said he's one of a handful of movie directors whose films really matter. Yet he has also never won an Oscar, even though Raging Bull is widely believed to be the best film of the 1980s, and Goodfellas was the critics' pick for best film of last year.
Does it anger you?
I say it's anger, it's great disappointment, but on the other hand, the film that they signed their name to, in a way, that they endorse, has to also have to do something with the climate of the society at the moment, American society, and I just don't fit in there.
Because of that, some have wondered if this Hollywood outsider decided to make his first thriller in an attempt to become more commercially mainstream. But actually, Cape Fear is a movie Scorsese tried not to make and turned down 3 times.
I didn't think I was really ready yet to try to do a traditional genre thriller.
Oh yeah? Try telling that to anyone who's already experienced the terrorizing chills that Scorsese serves up in Cape Fear. Robin Carter, Fox 5 News.
In 1995, Scorsese found himself involved with another movie based in New York City. But this time, it wasn't his usual director role. Instead, he was an executive producer and had a minor acting role.
Mean Streets, set almost entirely in Little Italy, the scene of Martin Scorsese's own youth. This was his breakthrough film, with a visual style characterized by restless, jittery camera movements reflecting the tension of city life, elements that would find a more elaborate and striking expression in later works.
You talking to me? Talking to me?
And with a filmography of unusual diversity of subject and approach, Scorsese has taken us from a vivid and disturbing impression of the seedy side of city life in Taxi Driver to a flashy musical spectacle in New York, New York.
New York! New York! New York!
The newly released Search and Destroy is a New York project. Griffin Dunne reprises the role he originated on Broadway. Scorsese has a small role, but on a larger scale, he's the executive producer, and the lineup of New York actors is prime.
Oh, get money! These are my clients, Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Because my brain is gone, and I can't even think anymore.
What was the attraction for you to become involved as executive producer?
It was very coincidental, actually. What happened was that I had never seen the play, Howard Corder's play. So I read it. When I read the material, I was really very surprised because it reminded me very much of After Hours.
Directed by Scorsese and produced by Griffin Dunne, who also stars, After Hours underscores the comparison. Both have the energy and style, dialogue and smell of New York.
I lie. I don't do it right, though. I always lie at the end when I'm scared and I don't get anything.
These people searching for something in their lives, they think it could be filled by acquiring things, materialism and consumerism and that sort of stuff. And what they wind up with is a kind of spiritual bankruptcy. And out of that, they panic.
When we talk about filming in New York City, though, we have all of the wonderful backdrop of this town. We have the underbelly like no other. Is that your attraction to this city as well as an artist?
Not necessarily. I mean, I wish I could make movies myself, like about, I tried in Age of Innocence to do it, the uptown New York, in a way. The kind of New York that Woody Allen shoots in Manhattan, that extraordinary sequence in Manhattan at the end with the fireworks in the widescreen black and white. Or most of his pictures that he shoots, his people live in areas that are very beautiful and very sophisticated parts of the city. I didn't grow up that way. I literally grew up right around the corner from where we are now, right on Elizabeth Street in Mulberry. We're now on Bleecker. And you know, once you're down here, and once you get used to the sounds of those trucks going by, and it's a whole different life. It's a whole different place. And I guess at this point in time, I sort of have a love-hate relationship with it. Well, you come from a certain area. It isn't that easy to go back.
That's true.
Whenever you go back, you think you never went anywhere. you say to yourself, well, where the hell have I been? You know, I've been here all my life. And so I like shooting in these areas. But the people I make films about are usually more from the downtown part of New York, in a way. I don't mean that literally, but from a different part of the society of New York than the usual New York as a summer festival.
Here it is.
I'm Marion Atwal Watson. Good day, New York.
Scorsese has become a master of using New York City in his films as a backdrop. In 1999, he tells Fox 5 why he wouldn't want to shoot anywhere else, and the creative process behind his vision, bringing out the dead.
Martin Scorsese's body of work is raw.
You talking to me?
Sometimes restless, at other times elaborate. There is unusual diversity of subjects and approach, sometimes with elements of his past playing an important role. There is one hypnotic lure, however, for this New York cinematic visionary, which has become the Scorsese signature. It's the mean streets of this town where you find the passion.
Yeah, well, I keep being attracted back to the streets that I know, the streets of the Lower East Side, really. Growing up in the 40s and the early 50s, I was so taken by the black and white photos of the tabloids that there's no doubt about it that, you know, it affected every picture I made from mean streets, particularly Taxi Driver, and then Raging Bull.
With sirens screaming and lights flashing, a New York City ambulance speeds through the night. Its drivers are paramedics working the graveyard shift. Scorsese stages his latest scorcher on the West Side, Hell's Kitchen. Nicolas Cage leads the team of players who become denizens of the dark, EMS workers on night patrol in Bringing Out the Dead.
I'm seeing the ghost.
In terms of thinking about a man who's going through the spiritual crisis in New York on a 3-night weekend, the only face I could think of was Nick Cage, his face in his eyes, you know.
Pick up the radio. Don't do it, Marcus, please. Tell her the bus died. Tell her the radio's not working. Tell her her back's hurt. Tell her we're too drunk to take any more calls.
When I went out the first nights with the EMS, everything was fine, except after about an hour or two, I'm beginning to notice lights are going by this way, red is going, you know, I'm looking, people's faces go swishing by. I swore I saw somebody I knew. You begin to see the world differently when you're in the cab of that ambulance, particularly when you're on a run. And I mean, I tried to recreate what I saw in the cab of the ambulance rides I took.
6 months of nighttime shooting, the darker elements of the street, raw grit again, the mean streets again, Scorsese in your face again. Nobody does it better.
This is part of our lives in New York. Just because they redo the Russian tea room and they, you know, it's very nice. I can't wait to go. But just because they redo, there's so much going on. The buildings are being built. It's so glitzy and all that. We have to still be aware that there's a great deal of suffering and that we still have to help. That's the main. Yeah, there's this underbelly. It's still there.
I'm Marion Atwal Watson. Good day, New York.
Even though he didn't walk away with an Oscar for Best Director, again, Gangs of New York was another cinematic triumph for Scorsese, becoming an instant classic, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Cameron Diaz.
An Irish-American named Amsterdam, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, sets out to avenge the brutal death of his father in director Martin Scorsese's 19th century epic, The Gangs of New York.
Who are you?
He's not who he says he is.
Father, give me the strength for what I must do.
Amsterdam is a composite character based on all these accounts of, young Irish-American immigrants that we read about, and yet these Irish immigrants came in looking for freedom and a way out of the potato famine, looking for new opportunities, and felt the racism as soon as they stepped foot into this world.
There's more of us coming off these ships every day. I hear 15,000 Irish a week. Together, we ain't got a gang. We got an army.
There were all of these rhythms and elements that were going on in other pockets of the United States.
And particularly in New York, which, you know, we always think of it as the North versus South, but, you know, New York is the seaport. It's the place where all the immigrants come first, and if democracy is going to work, it has to work first in New York.
The beautiful Cameron Diaz plays a pickpocket named Jenny.
So why aren't you dancing with him?
Because I'm not in love with him.
Challenge. Challenge accepted.
It's heavy, you know, it's heavy, but it's such a great drama, you know, it's kind of big and full of life and very passionate.
So what about the tone and language of this period for you? Did you?
Well, definitely the language was something, you know, you can't improv. You know, it's kind of hard to like come up with those terms offhand, you know.
His name's Amsterdam. Amsterdam? I'm New York.
This year's Oscar choice, Daniel Day-Lewis, who plays Bill the Butcher, was lured out of semi-retirement by Scorsese. Lewis seemed to show little interest in returning to the screen since his The Boxer in 1997. Did you find it enticing as an actor?
Yeah.
To take that journey?
Very much so.
Back into that story?
Certainly in the way that he described it to me, yeah.
How did he?
Well, just in his own way, you know what he's like. Martin certainly has great powers of persuasion without even knowing it. He doesn't have to try.
And my challenge! We are meant to settle for good and all! Who holds sway over the 5 points?
Daniel offers such a powerful performance with grit and sweat, which he wears well, one wonders if he can take it off at the end of the day.
Not entirely, no. And probably one wouldn't wish to entirely, because you don't get to bed till quite late and you get up early. It's, you know, why scrub yourself? Only got to put it on again.
You know how I stayed alive this long? Fear.
I'm Marion Atoll Watson. Good day, New York. With his latest, The Gangs of New York, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and early Oscar favorite Daniel Day-Lewis, Scorsese takes us to even meaner streets, circa 1850s, when the Civil War was the riptide in America. I have to tell you, when we think of the Civil War, we think it belongs to one climate, one era, one time.
Exactly. When we were taught about the Civil War in school in the 50s and 60s, there was a line across the country. Everything in the North, they all agreed, and in the South, they all agreed.
Not true.
Not true at all. New York was a hotbed of disagreement and anti-abolitionists. It's like some sort of strange place. Even when the way we designed it is based on fact. It's all based on fact.
Historic, epic, and folklore, Gangs of New York illuminates the legend and lore of old New York, a time when the city was rife with small but ferocious renegades and the fight for turf and power. Did this era literally take place in the arena where you grew up?
Actually, a few blocks away. I grew up in the Italian-American area down in Elizabeth Street, Mulberry and Mott, and about 6 or 7 blocks near towards where the Chinese are. Well, at that time, particularly off Canal Street.
Right.
Right over to the right, if you're looking at right about there, the old 5 Points was. None of it really exists anymore. What they did was they leveled it and they put all the justice buildings, the Motor Vehicle Bureau, the Supreme Court, almost as a symbol of order in a place that was lawless. This film sort of represents a foundation upon which all my other movies are based. It's the foundation from which those worlds emerged.
I'm Marion Atoll Watson. Good day, New York.
Hugo was a big change in Scorsese's directing career, marking the first PG and 3D for the acclaimed director. And on the red carpet in 2011, Fox 5 spoke to the stars and Scorsese.
Word on the street is that Leonardo DiCaprio actually wanted to be Hugo, and you kind of had to break the news that he's too old. How'd that work out?
He told me he wanted to do it. He had a way. He was going to sort of, you know.
Oscar-winning director Martin Scorsese and his cast for Hugo in 3D, as well as plenty of famous big supporters, lit up Ziegfeld Theater. 14-year-old Asa Butterfield plays Hugo.
It's about Hugo, who's an orphan, and he's had to live inside the walls of a Paris train station. And the whole sort of beginning of the story is about him and this mechanical figure that his dad gave him. And he's trying to fix it, see whether it's going to be a message from his father or something completely different.
I play Isabel, who's a young French Parisian girl, and Serpent Kingsley is her godfather. And it's a really, really, really amazing movie, and I was so proud to be a part of it, and I'm so honored to be a part of a Scorsese movie at such a young age.
I play the great Georges Méliès, who was the greatest film director of his generation, and he was the founder of modern cinema. And I was directed by a movie maestro, playing a movie maestro. It was a very thrilling experience.
Hugo is Scorsese's first PG audience 3D film, and he chose the Feel Good project, which is based on the best-selling book, The Invention of Hugo Cabret for One Special Lady.
We have a young daughter, and she turned 12 last week. And during the 11 years, or 11.5 years, I've been living with the child. And, you know,
all you have is gangster films to show her.
Exactly. We can't show her any of my pictures.
And while Hugo is his first breakout role, Asa is ready for full-on stardom. What are you going to say for all these ladies that fall in love with your baby blue eyes?
I'm single.
Oh, ready to mingle. Nicely done, Hugo. Hugo in 3D rolls into theaters, November 23rd. That's it for me here. I'm Julie Chang at Ziegfeld Theater for Fox 5 News.
And that was the news then.